Welcome to another Bob Folkrad's hunting adventure, and special thanks to the Mule Deer Foundation for all the conservation efforts that they've done so we can continue to hunt the mule deer. So sit back and enjoy Bob Folkrad's hunting adventure.
The gray ghost of the high sage has drawn host Bob Folkrad to northern Colorado, where he's hunting that icon of the Rocky Mountain West, the mule deer.
Look here, look up. That looks like a good buck there. That's what we're looking for. Okay, let's go. Dave takes his sticks and he says, right there he is. I says, okay, here we go. And I dialed that scope right up there to about 376. I was very comfortable about making this shot. Okay, here we go.
Winchester's manager of centerfire products, Mike Stalk, veteran Illinois whitetail hunter, joins Bob for mule deer on his first western hunt.
So we spotted the mule deer from about a mile away, and we busted off, and Dave and I went on the stalk. We ended up winding down and around, and we probably stalked for almost 2 miles. We got set up and needed to get my heart rate down after stalking there and getting on a mule deer for the first time.
Squeeze it off right in my shoulder.
Victor Chevrolet, Bass Pro Shops, and Alamocitos Ranch present Bob Folkrad's Hunting Adventures. Seven continents, 80 species, a 5-year quest in the making, high adventure, dangerous game, real-world training tips. This is Bob Folkrad's Hunting Adventures. Bob's gear includes a Browning A-Bolt 300 short mag, Winchester 180 grain Nosler ballistic tip bullets, Swarovski optics, Redhead Enduriskin base layers, and Redhead clothing with Gore-Tex and Windstopper.
This is a young buck here, eh?
Which is a 4-point. It's got a split G4 from the left. It's not what we're looking for. This tiny little deer. It's a buck. It's barely a buck. The law of averages would say there should be a buck somewhere.
You would think, wouldn't you?
That's the way I've seen it before. That's the way it says in all the books it's supposed to work.
It's an exchange of ideas as Bob Folkrad and Winchester Ammo Pro Mike Stalk on his first out west hunt share insights into cartridges and mule deer.
I met Mike several years ago actually at the SHOT Show, and I was kind of excited about hunting with him, learning more about the product and how it was built.
Bob's one of those hunters that you're always going to learn something from. You know, I've hunted all my life, and I feel like I do a pretty good job, but you stack yourself up to a guy like Bob Folkrad, and you realize just how little you do know.
You never know how, you never hunted with a guy before in camp, and my nature is I start busting on you right away. I figured out a long time ago, if I'm not giving it to you, I'm getting it. So I'm giving it to him. I'm going to find out what kind of a guy this is, and he gets that big grin on his face, and he gets his own little jabs in too.
For Mike Stalk, it's a case of a stranger in a strange land, an Illinois whitetail hunter for life. He's never before hiked these western mule deer hillsides.
Coming out here on my first mule deer hunt and getting to do it with a legend like Bob Folkrad was a really great experience, because Bob's the kind of guy that wants to teach and always wants to impart knowledge onto people and hunters and make them better hunters, and that's what I really enjoyed being out here with Bob.
For Bob and Mike, the challenge of a big buck will take place on Three Forks Ranch, 50,000 acres of prime big game habitat on the Colorado-Wyoming state line.
Three Forks Ranch in total is a 200,000 acre working cattle ranch. In addition to the mule deer hunts, we do elk hunts, pronghorn hunts. We have 16 private miles of river, so it's just really cool to be able to take people out and share this with them.
The breathtaking vistas here, I mean, the mountains all around. This area is just rich with game and gorgeous to boot, so it's hard to beat.
One good thing about the ranch is we're surrounded by National Forest and BLM ground on the Colorado and Wyoming side, so as those public season starts, we get more deer pushed into us pretty much every day.
There could be a perfect storm of mule deer waiting for Bob and Mike. But first, there's the business of sighting in their rifles, so it's off to send a few rounds downrange. The ammo of choice for Bob and Mike is Winchester's Ballistic Silver Tip, featuring a polymer tip, a contoured jacket, and an alloyed lead core. This Winchester cartridge provides superb accuracy, rapid, controlled expansion, and deep, devastating penetration. And now, hunters can enhance their shooting with Winchester's Ballistics Calculator, available online or as an app. Plug in your cartridge, chart its performance, and never be left guessing in the field.
Let's go with this 100-yarder here just to get started.
So I pulled the rifle out and felt good, got on the bags, got it at 100 yards and was hitting right where I wanted to.
3/4 of an inch high, 3/4 of an inch right.
So I turned the bench over to Bob, and Bob didn't waste a whole lot of time at 100 yards. He started stretching it out. I think he ended up going after that 650-yard gong. That Bob can shoot, and he's not afraid to show it.
All right, I'm going to throw one down there at 625 or 650.
650, okay?
See what she does.
Pretty good shooting. That seems adequate. Yeah.
Accuracy confirmed. It's time to hunt. It begins with Mike Stock, and guide Dave Clements soon spots what could be Mike's first ever mule deer buck.
Yep, that one will work.
We may have found a buck for you. We got into the stalk. We looked at several animals, and all of a sudden, Dave, our guide, sat there and he goes, "That's a nice one, Mike."
We're gonna have to kind of hurry up though, because he's gonna be in there in those trees pretty quick bedded, so we're gonna have to take off and get up there in a hurry before he gets into those trees. Grab your stuff, let's go.
Got set up and needed to get my heart rate down after stalking there and getting on a mule deer for the first time.
Squeeze it off, right in that shoulder.
Bob Folkrod's Hunting Adventures is brought to you by these fine sponsors: Vortex, Kinatrek, Kufaru.
As people who love the outdoors, we know what we stand for. We stand for fish, wildlife, and conserving the places they call home. We stand for the traditions we inherited and that we must pass on. We stand for great gear, fair prices, expert service, and memorable experiences. At Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's, we stand together for you.
For everything Chevy, you need to visit Victor Chevrolet, the place where my family and I get our vehicles. With a large selection, dedicated employees, quick service, and amazing savings, I became the biggest fan of Victor Chevrolet. If you're looking for a reliable vehicle and service, look no further than my friends at Victor Chevrolet. 7200 Pittsford Victor Road, or victorchevrolet.com. Just check and see if there's room for the cup.
I've got this walk I've done for years. Basically, I go out the end of the driveway, go down to the four corners, hang a left, go down, hit the pipeline, up over the pipeline, back down, hit the T in the road and come back 4 miles, you know. So takes me, you know, hour something to do that. And that one part is pretty steep. It's a real good workout. Got a new pack here from Kufaru. What I do is I start out with 10 or 20 pounds into it, gets the straps working, gets it adjusted good. The days I don't walk, like I walk Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and then I ride the bike twice a day and I take the weekends off, you know, unless it rains, and then I might do a walk Saturday or Sunday or something like that, but always give your body a chance to rest. At the same time, when you're walking, you heard me say it, it's easy to get the body in shape. You're trying to get your mind in shape. You're trying to think about what your job is on the particular hunt. You know, for instance, when you might be, in this particular case, I'm getting ready for an Alberta sheep hunt in September. Well, my mind automatically goes in. We spot some sheep, you know, he's doing his job as an outfitter. He's trying to judge them, see if they're old enough. I'm trying to look and see, okay, about the wind, you know. Right now the wind's hitting me in the face. One thing, I walk outside, I ask the grandkid, which way is the wind blowing? I don't know, Grandpa, which way? You tell me, you know. So always see which way the wind blowing. Then you're, at the same time, you're trying to judge the wind, which we'll do a little wind thing later. But you know, right now I got the wind hitting me in the face. You can see the flags are blowing down there. So that's one thing, the flags tell me something. But then I look at the top of the trees and I look at the grass and I say, okay, I've got a 3.5 to 4 mile an hour wind right now, which At 100, 200 yards don't make any difference. 300, when you start stretching that barrel to 400, 500, 600 yards, it makes a little difference, you know. So that's the kind of things that you're thinking about when you're walking, you know. And it's nothing that refreshes you any better than going for a good walk, hollering to your dog every once in a while to see where he went to. But, you know, anyway, I'm gonna go on my 4-mile walk. And that, my folks, is the tip of the day.
Winchester's Mike Stalk and Three Forks guide Dave Clements have spotted what could be Stalk's first ever mule deer, with a lot of open ground to cover to reach it.
So we spotted the mule deer from about a mile away, and so we busted off, and Dave and I went on the stalk. We ended up winding down and around, and we probably stalked for almost 2 miles. And the whole time Bob's back behind us, that mile back, watching us, and I think Bob was really sweating it as we were getting up there.
I decided I was going to stay back and glass and see maybe where, if he decided to go bed down, I would have a pretty good idea where he bedded it. It would give him another opportunity to make a stalk.
The biggest challenge for most of our hunters here is just the elevation. You know, most of our hunters come from the east, Midwest, and they're just not used to this type of elevation. So that's generally the biggest obstacle we have to overcome.
I hadn't even been in Colorado for 24 hours by the time we went off on this stalk, and we were hoofing it quick because we wanted to get there before he got up and bedded down in the aspens. So that first hill was, man, that was a burner.
Slide right under this bush.
They dropped down in a dip and they came up and they were right there. I mean, of course, you know, 1,500 yards away, it looks like they're right on top of him. I'm having a heart attack. I'm cheering for Mike to get this job done.
He was making his move towards his bed in a little grove of aspen, so this is definitely the one we're going to shoot. He was coming slow, but staying out in the open. We had plenty of time to get set up.
You're gonna want it right in the shoulder, directly in the shoulder. I think that shot. Yeah, I got that shot.
This week's training tip is brought to you by Winchester Ammunition.
What we're going to do today is we're going to learn how to play the wind and at the same time work ourselves into some patience. You got the app on your phone you can get from Winchester. It tells exactly what ammo, what caliber you're shooting, and how far that bullet is going to drift out of a certain area. Realistically, at 300 yards, it's not going to drift it out of this balloon, which is basically the same size of most deer, elk, for the lung area that you're shooting at. So we're going to get everything set up back here. We're going to go back up on the bench, practice what we taught. We're back at the bench, and now we're going to learn patience, and we're going to learn how to play the wind. You want to look at your trees, you want to look at your streamers that you have out there, so you practice that. So when you get out there and there's no streamers out there, you're looking at the top of the trees, you're trying to get an idea on how hard that wind's blowing, which is what we're going to do with the balloons. All right, let's see what we can do. That's all right there. Guarantee if you practice that at home, not only learning how to play the wind, but the patience at the same time, it'll make you a better shot. And you'll be surprised how much more game you'll bring home.
Closed captioning has been provided by Swarovski Optic.
With only thin cover to hide them, Mike Stalk and guide Dave Clements have stalked to within range of what might be Stalk's first mule deer buck.
Right behind that big bush, do you see him? Yeah, he's at 230. And he's still obscured. Let's get you on your rifle there.
Got set up and needed to get my heart rate down after stalking there and getting on a mule deer for the first time.
Bend your right knee, get up underneath your elbow. He's got nowhere to go but out of there. How steady are you? I'm pretty good. All I can see is his shoulder. Yep, just wait on him to clear room. It's nice and clean. Okay, what's he giving you right there? Took that step. I've got all the shoulder. It's quarter to a little bit. I think I've got that shot. If you got it, go ahead and slide it off. Squeeze it off right in that shoulder. Just take your time.
Go again, load it again, reload. He's tipping, he's tipping. There we go, just like that.
That was awesome.
That seems simple enough.
Yeah, it seems simple enough. Whew. Made a real nice shot on a real great mule deer for me. I couldn't be happier. Let's go see him.
Yeah, check it out.
Look at that. Little character here. Man, he is a tank. Thanks,
Congrats,
Dave.
man.
Thank you.
Good job.
That is awesome. Thank you.
He's like a kid at Christmas time. He's just bouncing all over himself, and he should be. That was his first mule deer, great stalk.
Thank you.
Good deal, man.
Yeah, it's a great buck.
Oh, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'm fired up. You know, walking up on my first mule deer was amazing. You know, I've walked up on a lot of whitetails in my life, and it never gets old, you know, no matter what it is, but a new species that I've wanted to hunt for a long time, walking up there and being able to see that majestic animal and those big chocolate antlers of his, it was fantastic. It's an experience I'll never forget.
Dave takes his sticks and he says, right there he is. I says, okay, here we go. And I dialed that scope right up there to about 376. I was very comfortable about making this shot.
Transportation for all of Bob Volkrod's hunting adventures is provided by Victor Chevrolet. Check them out at victorchevrolet.com.
Illinois whitetail hunter and Winchester centerfire manager Mike Stalk has his first mule deer. Now it's Bob Volkrod's turn to see what Colorado may hold for him.
We had gone out pretty early in the afternoon. We're out glassing, and I find a buck bedded in the open sagebrush down below us.
I got one bedded right here, right where this little bunch of sarvisberries goes up.
Yeah.
And that sparsest one that's the highest, he's right on the right side of it.
Oh yeah, okay, I got it.
You just see his horn shine. Solid deer. Nice backs. Kind of crabby fronts though.
Yeah, he does got nice back, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Little crab claw on the front.
The front end's just not gonna do it. He's solid though.
Yeah.
So we're looking at him and decided that's not quite what we're looking for. And Bob happened to spot a buck and a doe up higher on the ridge we'd been looking at the whole time, right in the wide open sagebrush that had just stood up there.
Look here, look up. Right through the trees.
Where?
Right over the top of that tree right there.
Oh yeah.
That looks like a good buck there.
That's a nice buck. Heavy buck.
And I just had to slide over a little bit and have a look, and it was obvious right then that's the one we were going after.
It's a solid, typical, real heavy. He's got a real big front on one side. He's solid all the way around.
Good enough.
Like him?
Yeah, that's good enough. That's what we're looking for. Yep.
I think we should go after him. Tell you what, the only way to get around him right now is to go back here and go all the way around, come down in that tree line and get underneath it.
My buck was over on the side hill, and the problem what we had was he was locked on a doe, but below him there was another group of does and some small bucks. Problem was we had to go to our right, kind of go up over and get into the aspens and hope that they didn't see us getting into that. He's locked in on that doe though.
Okay, we'll just ease across the open here, but then when we get in that tree line, we can take off. And, okay, let's go.
We were right out in the wide open, really. Dave said we better go to the right and drop over that little hill and get into them aspens and see if we can hide ourselves.
We were pretty much caught out in the open. There in the open, if they'd been paying attention, they could have easily seen us. But we put a plan together to go back behind us and around.
Once we got into that, there was enough cover for us to go through without, hopefully, the deer seeing us. We got a nice buck up on the hill. Doors will push it down. I had to go up around, come down on him. 470 right now. I'm just trying to close the distance up some. It was kind of a gamble, but it was the best shot that we had. And as it worked out, that buck was locked in on that doe. He had no intentions of leaving her.
It's kind of an elaborate stalk, but we did it pretty quickly.
Now we're really in the thick of stuff. Once we got into those aspens and broke out of the aspens up above him and we started coming down, we were pretty well hid. Finally, we came back down and started dropping over, and Dave takes his sticks and he says, right there he is.
There he is here. He's still just watching that doe. He isn't paying us any attention.
Yeah, we got him now. If we get the ranges right,
we'll just slide right down here. Try to ease through here just the best we can. We'll be right down underneath it. Yeah.
We were fighting daylight also, so we were hustling right along. Then we came out, and all the other deer was off to our left, and he's kind of up on the side hill.
376 from right here. Okay with that?
Yeah, good enough.
Set up right here. This little...
Yeah. He range find him. He said he was at 376. He asked me, he said, are you comfortable with it? That's a good guide. Are you comfortable about making this shot? Don't lie to your guide. Are you or aren't you? Because if you're not, then we'll attempt to get closer. But in my case, I was very comfortable about making this shot. So we dropped down and basically got set up. I got a Winchester rifle with a ballistic scope from Swarovski onto it. I've done my homework at home on the range. You know, so I said yes. Yep, I got him. Yep, yep.
Exactly 370 from right here. Still not paying attention.
Okay, give myself some power here. I says, okay, here we go. And I dialed that scope right up there to about 376.
He's not going anywhere. Just take your time.
Here we go. Set that rifle up, good rest, no wind at all. Here we go.
Bob sat down and put on a clinic for us.
Okay, here we go.
This segment has been brought to you by the Victor Chevrolet Deal of the Week. Check them out at victorchevrolet.com. Chevrolet.com. Find new roads.
Looking for a new or used vehicle? Check out my friends at Victor Chevrolet. You'll be totally satisfied. That's where I get all my vehicles.
Together is about a little kitchen table and a little elbow grease. Together is about a shelf in the back of Dad's shop. Together is about family. And it's about all the memories that lie ahead. Start your adventure with the experience, selection, and wonder you can only find at Bass Pro Shops in Cabela's. Your adventure starts here.
Using an aspen draw to shield their stalk, Bob Folkrod and guide Dave Clements close in on a trophy buck, hoping he'll stay and that darkness holds off.
Right down the top of the shooting sticks.
Yep, I got him.
Still not paying attention.
What's the distance now we got?
Right at 370. 370 on the button.
Dave was playing it by the book. He's an excellent guide. He said, are you comfortable with that? I said, absolutely, you know. I says, okay, here we go. And I dialed that scope right up there to about 376. You can give myself some power here.
He's not going anywhere. Just take your time.
Bob says, no problem, this is good enough. And he sat down and put on a clinic for us.
Set that rifle up, got everything up, good rest, no wind at all. Now it's just a matter of, okay, look at everybody, here we go. Dave's on the binoculars, here we go.
Ease it off whenever you're ready. Slow, steady squeeze. Right onto that shoulder. Go ahead.
Okay, here we go.
Nice, reload, reload, reload.
I jacked another one in, but I knew I wouldn't need it, and he ran down and tipped over. There he goes.
Nice shooting.
All right.
Nice shooting.
Nice mule deer right there. Good shot. That's a nice buck, man.
You bet it is.
Yeah. Bam, man. Oh, You could just, oh, he took her hard.
Okay, here we go.
You could actually watch the shock waves go through this animal. And he ran down and tipped over.
That going back, hitting those tree lines and just over that little knoll, and we come right down through here, that was perfect.
The only way it was gonna work. It worked that time.
It did, it did. That's a nice animal too.
When you get old and crippled and your knee can't work anymore, you shoot longer distances.
The good news? Bob's made a long-range one-shot kill. The bad? By the time they hike to where the buck fell, they may be searching for it in the dark.
Here was the problem. We're starting to push dark. We know exactly where he is on that side hill because we can see him from here, but there was no references. There's no trees, no nothing.
I used this on sheep a couple times. What I do is right there's where it is, you know, so there's no ammo in there, but that scope is locked onto him because we get over there, we may have a hard time finding him.
What I did is I took my rifle, looked through the scope, locked everything down, took the bolt out of it, and we were going to go over there and look for this mule deer. If last resort would have came down and we couldn't have found him with our lights and everything, I would have probably left that rifle and everything there and came back in the morning and it would have been facing right up to him. And when we got over there, it was dark.
I hope we don't have to come back in the morning and find this guy, but man, this is tough.
He's right here somewhere.
It got dark on us, didn't it?
Yeah.
I was going into a panic stage. Man, I hope we don't have to let this thing lay. And luckily, we got lucky.
Here he is. Got him.
Oh, man.
Heavy, heavy.
Heavy.
Bet there he is, man.
There ain't no ground shrinkage with that boy, is it?
No.
Oh, gee.
We got over there, we got lucky and found him, so that was a good thing. And I walked up to him and got my hands on him and I go, man, that's a beautiful buck right there. I don't care where you're hunting.
That is absolutely a beauty.
Look at that mass.
What a buck, Bob.
Heavy, heavy.
Oh, I'm telling you.
Big old bull nose on him. Look at that.
Kept his heft.
Yeah.
This thing is awesome.
Well done, sir.
Oh, you too.
Yeah.
Why was you getting work? Good work, Bob. Good work. I'm telling you.
And you know what? There was no ground shrinkage with this guy at all. That's a beautiful buck.
Well, Mike, it's been a great hunt, hasn't it?
That's a pretty good hunt right there.
I'll tell you what. Great deer we've had.
Hunting with Bob was a great experience. And more than that, I got to learn a lot about Bob, but learn a lot about hunting as well.
You know, we really enjoyed one another. I enjoyed learning about the ammo more and how it was built and the marketing end of it. You know, so, you know, we had a great time. And one thing I was really happy for him is he got a nice mule deer, his first mule deer. And you know what? This may be the start of something. I bet Mike and I hunt together a whole lot more.
For help with all of your hunt booking needs, contact J&M Safaris at jnmsafaris.com. After your successful hunt of a lifetime, contact Wes Good at canadistudio.com for the finest taxidermy in the business. Be sure to follow Bob and all his adventures at bobfolkrod.com/TV and facebook.com/bfolkrod. And don't forget to hit the like button.